And it's a good thing. Can there be too much of a good thing? Well, probably.
Pesky possum goat. Another thing that I want to start planning.
What? They're not happy about it, but it's for the best. You, sir. That little guy does not belong in here. That is our second buck possum, and that kid, he's not supposed to be in here. He's got a hole. We have a hole somewhere in the fence, a weak point in our perimeter over there where the boys stay, and he keeps getting out. And with all the rain and everything we've had, it just wasn't worth it to move him. I mean, it's going to throw off our plans. Not terribly, I guess, but yeah, you know, it's exactly what we wanted, is to have a buck loose in a girl pen. Things could be worse, I guess. Howdy, folks. My name's Reagan. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us here on the farm today. It's a wet one. That hurricane has moved through Florida, and it has done a lot of rainfall on its way to get to us. And here we are, way inland. It's just been raining. It's been raining hard for a couple of days. Day and a half? I don't know. It's been raining for a minute. And that's more rain than we've had in a good long while. And it's a good thing. Can there be too much of a good thing? Well, probably, and certainly in some places. Not going to complain too much here, except it just interferes with our plans. What we're going to do, Megan's going to be down here in a little bit. If you've been following the channel for a while, you know that this pallet structure is our kidding pen. And it has served us really well. But the problem that we have is it doesn't work great. It's not quite big enough, especially now that we have a handful of Nubians, full-size Nubians. We've got some mini-Nubians that we're going to be bringing along, and this doesn't work great. We've also, on this side of this wall right here, we have a dividing wall, so instead of having one big area, we can have two smaller ones. A lot of times the dog will stay on one side and the boy goats will stay on the other. It gives them plenty of space where they can just get out of the shelter, and they don't need the whole run like the girls do, since there's so many of them in this one area. We had cows in there too. Put some beef steers in there when we were raising beef steers last year, or a beef steer. At some point, I don't even remember, they tore up that gate. We put that gate in, built it out of pallets. Pretty impressive. Have a video that we did a couple years ago of making that, and it really worked out great. It's just not super durable when a 1,200-pound animal is using it as a scratching post, which is the kind of thing that happens on a farm. We've got to fix that, because the gate doesn't really shut. Nothing matches up like it's supposed to anymore. It doesn't work.
Pesky possum goat. He has a hole somewhere in his field and we can't find the hole, and so then now he's figured out how to get in with the girls. I have a lot of possum babies probably. Today, as you can kind of see the sky behind me, we are getting hurricane side effects, which is nothing compared to what Florida is getting, obviously, but it's been a lot of rain and we can't really afford to lose another Saturday work day. So the weather's nice, the weather's not nice, the temperature is nice, so we're going to use that to work in the barn, because it gets too hot in the summer. I got really dark, maybe it'll lighten up here in a second. It is too hot to work in my barn in the summer outside of necessities. So a couple years ago we built this stall divider and it worked great until cows wrecked it. Yeah, not fun incident with those cows. But so we're going to fix that, because two of my bigger girls, Dawn and Belle, cannot kid in my kidding stall. They can stay in it with their babies, but they cannot kid in it. It's not big enough for them. So if I can move them in here to kid, it would be great. So go ahead and getting that ready to go would be great. Also, when I go in here, they're going to get loud because they're not happy about the rain and they want grain, and they're not getting grain right now. I have dried all my girls off to prep for breeding. So everyone is drying up and doing well with that. And then here's my kidding stall. When we built this kidding stall, I brought home a pregnant goat I bought a pregnant goat, and that was Violet. And we needed a kidding stall fast. We were not planning on having kids that year, and I found Violet. And I wanted her, and I got her. So we had to get a kidding stall quickly. And that's what we made. And I wasn't upset at the time of it because it has served us well. We made that in 21. It's now 23, 24. So we've kidded it several seasons. So I want to tear it down. I want to level this stall a little bit because that's part of the issue is you're always having to dig out. We're always having to dig the door out because this is the door. I can't really move it from where it's at because that's the only place I can get a heat lamp in because of like the way the electricity's ran in the barn. Eventually that'll get fixed too, but one problem at a time. So we're going to take down the kidding stall. We're not having fall babies, so we can take this completely down and level this stall out. I don't plan on using straw in my barn anymore unless we're getting severe low temperatures, polar vortex type stuff. Another thing that I want to start planning is this is my feed room where I'm at. This is where I milk. My milk stand's right over here. I love where my milk stand's at. Please ignore the bags if you can see them. But here is the back half of this. And this was 2 stalls. There was a wall from this post over to the other side of that cabinet. And we took that down because this back stall wasn't being used. And we made this 1 stall. So what I want to do is fix this door so it is functional, and I want to make a holding stall across this back area for my milk moms. I want to add that holding area to my feed room, my milk feed room area, because right now I bring all the girls out and in through their main stall, which is this door, and it gets kind of chaotic. People start shoving. It also makes it hard to grain feed my kids, my dry girls, that kind of thing. So what I would do in the morning is I would come down and let all my milking girls in to the milk room, feed room, through the door back here, through this door. I'd have a gate in it, and then I could bring them in one at a time. When they're done milking, I then would walk them out that door and back to their stall here. Make it a lot easier. While my milk girl, as soon as I get my milking does in the holding area, I then can take grain out to everyone else. They can eat it while I start milking. I don't do a ton of grain feed. I do not feed a ton of grain to anybody except the girls that are milking. But I like being able to give them a little bit because you can make sure their appetite is up. If you've got girls, if you have girls that are pregnant, you can make sure they're keeping condition well. Make sure their condition is good after they have the babies. And it also makes sure everyone is coming up, seeing you, making sure they're friendly. I like all my goats being food scoop trained, which means I shake a food scoop, they come running. Anyways, so that's one of the plans I have. And the gate area will be similar to the same one we already have dividing this stall, which we're going to try to fix from the cows wrecking it.
And meanwhile, I have made an awesome discovery. I was planning on having to buy new hinges. And the goats are very up and up right now. Planning on having to buy new ones of these because these are all bent up. This one's not as bad as the one down below. I realized I was going to have to take the gate off of there anyway. But I have a hammer. And if you can't fix it with a hammer and vice grips, then I don't think it's actually broken. I think it'll work. Shoot, baby. What test? What test?
So they just had to be beaten to submission. Okay.
That's the way to do everything. With violence.
Now we can reattach that gate, I think, and that side will be good to go. One of the big things, we've been using this gate, but it's not worked for a while. We spent good money to get this latch. So, latch is here. The other part of the latch is on that gate, so that way they closed easy. We've been like tying them up with a chain, and that's a pain. So, I'm gonna be glad when these are fixed the way I imagined. Because I had them for like 3 weeks, and then we got cows, and that was a whole ordeal, and there's videos on it if you wanna go see it, but you don't wanna see that struggle. the part of the gate that moves the most. The longer side is meant to stay put until we need it open, and then we would secure it to this back wall when we need this to be solid. Because so when we built it, we got the nicer, like, what is this thing? We got a nice drop rod here to secure this, because the bigger side is supposed to stay put most of the time, and just use the smaller one to go in and out. Half the gate is fixed now. Yay! Now how do we fix the other side?
Get a new hinge.
Okay.
Still gotta go get hinges.
Okay. Well, you just don't have to get as many hinges. She was naughty. Yes. I have a working gate! Yay!
You know, just for a couple hours in the morning and having, well, you know, things happen, and it's a busy time on the farm. She just walks directly through that. You carried that goat back, and she just walked right through that opening. Well, that was fun. Yeah.
It was rigged. It was never meant to keep them in this long, okay?
It has been a mess around here. The rain isn't helping, but you know, it's just the way things go, and that's okay. Because sometimes you just got to take little bites and get done what you got to get done. I'm going to go inside and eat some lunch and edit a video, because that's what we do. So, anything else you want to get to say?
Oh yeah, no, possum definitely bred her. Violet and possum baby's coming in 5 months. Just FYI.
Yep.
We'll see you on the next video, guys. I'm Megan.
And I'm Reagan. This is the GWP Homestead.
Bye, guys.
Peace.